to do is we're going to go ahead and install the rebuild carburetor on the Notch. So I recently sent out the carburetor, actually about a month ago I sent out the carburetor to AED Carburetors. That's who had built it the first time, or where the carburetor was from. So I went ahead and sent it to them and had it rebuilt, because who knows how long it's been sitting, who knows if the air bleeds are gunked up, who knows if the gaskets are any good. And I saw some leaks and I said, you know what, I've never sent out a carburetor to be rebuilt. Typically I do it myself. I just don't have the time to do it, or the patience. I really don't want to smell like fuel anymore. I'm kind of done with that game. So I thought, might as well send it to the people who actually made the carburetor, and they can identify what I actually have. Turns out to be a 750 CFM carburetor. So who knows if I need something bigger. But once I figure out the cam specs, the specs of the engine, then I can properly call somebody and say, this is what I got, this is what I need. So who knows if I need an 850 or anything smaller, bigger, whatever. But I have some options. But for now, let's go ahead and reinstall the carburetor. Let's see if freshening it up did anything to it. And I devised a way of potentially dialing in air fuel just in idle and slow revs using an N gauge. Yes, on a carbureted car. You'll see what I'm talking about. Hopefully it makes sense once I get it all said and done. But let me go ahead and install it now, get it started, get it warmed up, and let's see about dialing in air fuel. And then, depending on the weather, might take it for a ride. But before we take it for a ride, I'm gonna have to clearance the rear end tub area, because the 15x10 welds that I put in there, I think are rubbing on the coil. So we'll see what I have to do with that. But for now, let's get the carburetor on. Okay, she's all installed. This is biting a little bit, so I'm gonna get a low car cable, so I'll figure that out. Definitely, I'm gonna have to redo the linkage. I'm not a big fan of how anything looks, to be honest with you. It's kind of chintzy. So I'm gonna put the key on, see what fuel pressure is. You guys told me to set it back to like 5 PSI. A lot of you guys said that my pressure's too high, so I'll have to look into that. But let me see if it overflows or anything. Okay, fuel pressure is at 8, so we can see it right here. It's a little on the high side. So let me go ahead and back that down. Okay. Let's do 6. Yep. There we go. Tighten it. Alright, so I'll run it down to 6. Camera far away. Okay. Hopefully that's okay. Before I go crazy, I'm gonna set the idle air mixture screws. They usually say, you know, all the way in and then back it off 2 turns. We'll do that first to make sure that's not an issue. So all the way in, back it off 2 turns, and we'll try it again. Okay, let's try it again. Almost sounds like I have a massive vacuum leak somewhere. Okay, got fuel, got pressure. That's, timing's good. Timing should be good. I haven't touched timing. But yeah, it's backfiring, almost as if there's a timing issue. That idle set screws are good. Yeah, I mean, it's got the vacuum and the guy in the back. Let's keep on chugging. Let's see what the deal is. Let's see keep on diagnosing as to why you don't want to turn on all of a sudden. Okay, after a lot of tweaking around, I'm saying a lot of tweaking around, idle air mixture screws, checking fuel pressure, everything, something tells me this thing was just cold and it just doesn't like to run when it's cold out. It's in the 60s. I can't imagine it affecting it that much, but these do's come with a choke horn, okay? And if you don't have that, cold starts will be kind of a pain in the butt, so you're gonna have to just sit there and hopefully it warms up. But now that it's warmed up, it's starting a lot better. But trust me, I was worried for a second there because I was like, wait a minute, it ran better with a jank carburetor than a rebuilt carburetor, but I think the carb was just cold. So once I got it up to operating temperature, everything seemed to be pretty kosher. So let's start it up. Much better. The idle is always something I gotta play with because it's on the high side, and I think it's because this is binding. I think it's because this is binding, so I have to figure out the situation for that. But it's always gonna have a high idle in my opinion. Unless I gotta keep it up over time. I'll roll back off. Probably have to do with timing and a whole bunch of other stuff. A little high, but what I gotta do now is bring it over to the garage, take this wheel off and see where it's rubbing. So I'm gonna move it forward and back a bunch of times, see where it's scuffing, and figure out how to clearance that situation. Obviously the idle is way too high, so I gotta something good. Okay, I have a sneaking suspicion it's rubbing on the coil on the inside. So I'm gonna jack up this side from the diff so that the ride height stays the same. And I'm gonna, you know, maybe put it in neutral, put jack stands under it, and make sure that when I rotate it, it's not rubbing on the coil, but I'm pretty sure it's rubbing on the coil. I'll try to show you that. And if it's not, and it's hitting on the tub on the inside, I'm just gonna hammer it out like we used to do back in the good old days, and see if it fixes that issue. Okay, so I'm gonna see what all is going on up there. I think what's happening is that it's rubbing on the coil. I need a flashlight to see exactly what's happening. Let me see. Yep, that's exactly what's happening. So it's hitting on the coil. So if you look closely, this coil right here, this coil over, if you look all the way up there, it's hitting on the tire right there. So, well, I can't really do anything in terms of remedying that issue but moving the wheel away from the coil a little bit. Now that will require spacing, which I'm not a big fan of, but it's either that or get the right offset wheel. So since I have plenty of thread left over, and I believe I have one spacer in there. On the Fairmont I ran one spacer, but I cut material off, and on the Fairmont I actually installed a different. So look at this, look at this one. Let's take a look at this. This is the coil on the shock, right? See that? But on the Fairmont, to remedy that issue, I did this. It's kind of the nice thing about having it here. To remedy the issue on the Fairmont was I moved the coil in like that. away. See, this is the shock, and the coil is inboard via a UPR coilover conversion for Fox bodies. This is a nice setup. God damn it, I keep forgetting this thing's back here. So I'm gonna have to do that, but in the meantime, does this have a spacer? No, no spacer on this guy. Did I put a spacer? Nope. So I'm gonna see if I can space out these wheels a little more so they don't rub. The problem is they're gonna stick out a little bit, but not terribly. So yeah, I'm gonna have to space them out. So let's see if I can find a spacer in the garage somewhere. Luckily, had an extra set of spacers lying around. Now, I do not recommend this, but for now, just to get this guy driving around and until I do the coilover setup, I'm gonna do that. Now, these are, I think, thicker than this, so I don't want to stack spacers. So I'm gonna just put one spacer on and see if it clearances the coil situation. I think it's a 21. 21. Yep, 21. I think it's the same thickness. Yeah, so if you look at them, the old and new are about the same thickness. So I'm gonna stack them, which is highly not recommended, I'll be honest with you. It's a really dumb thing to do, and as you can see exactly where it was rubbing, right there. There's not much I can do to bring that in, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? I can't bring that in. So the conversion brings it here. So the original coil goes here, guys. So to be honest with you, I could probably get away with getting a strange shock back there and drag springs that go into stock location here. Or the coilover conversion that's for the Fairmont that worked out really well. So I could keep the shock. Why is this thing zoomed in all the way? I want to know why it's, thank you. Jesus, why is it zoomed in all the way? I hate that the camera does that automatically. So I'm gonna probably do that, do the conversion, because I did it before, but I'm gonna have to weld something up or do old school period correct. Remember we talked about period correct? Getting a drag launch spring situation here, because it does need front springs. It's got some Edelbrock junk lowering springs in the front, so to me that's stupid. But for now, let's stack these guys Truviate style and go from there. So they're not sticking out that far, thank goodness. There's a slight deviation right there, so hopefully it's not too bad. It seems to be about ½ inch or so will stick out, so not terrible. Just got to get those shocks without the coils on it, suck it in, do the coil conversion, or Ford Racing springs front and rear. But the problem is the ride height kind of jacked up, so we'll see how it drives with this. How easy it moves, because if it's rubbing, obviously. Very cool. So definitely not rubbing. That's nice. Cool. Yeah, we're starting from the outside. Let's see if we can start it from the outside. Very good. Cool beans. All right, let's take it for a spin. Okay, so I'm gonna try to take it for a quick spin. Got the camera set up a little funky. It's moldy. I don't even want to drive it. It's fucking moldy. But I want to see that, you know, nothing weird acts up with the carburetor. Seems to be running really good. It was weird. So on initial startup, what I noticed is that It was popping and binging and all this stuff, and no water got in the exhaust, or no water got in the intake. I had it sealed pretty good, but you never know. So once I let it run for a little while longer and mess with the idle air mixture stuff, it seemed to fix a lot of the issues that it was having. So quick spin around the complex, and we should be able to end the video. Hopefully nothing pops up. It's like I gotta clear it out. I'm gonna have to potentially undo the take the spark plugs out or something. It should be making that noise. Oh, here we go. Now it's idling at 2,000. Why? Why are you idling that high now? So weird. This work? Oh, it does work. E-brake works, but it doesn't stay ratcheted like your mom. Why is it idling at 2,000 RPMs now? Stupid. Let me fix it. I hear all the EFI guys right now. Oh, put EFI in it. No sensors. Fuck that. Better. There's no cops to pull me over here, so. Oh, this does go back. I was wondering why the seat didn't want to go back. There we go. Shifter still is not to my liking. The shifter is literally facing away from me, and I want it to be a lot closer to me. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to buy one of those swivel style things that I just fell, that reorients the shifter closer to me, but I just don't want to buy particular brands. Closer. Oh, wrong way, Alex. I always think there's a way out here, but there isn't. This area of the complex is where all the single guys are at. Because they're the ones, you know? The one bedroom, one bath. No offense to them. Shit happens, but you know, tell my girlfriend to stay away from this area, or come to the area. I don't care. So it's bouncy, so I might have to set the air pressure or adjust the shocks. I don't know. Idle's pretty good. Nice, a lot better on the carburetor. A lot better pedal feel. It doesn't stumble on the way up. I thought it was a timing issue or a spark plug issue or something like that. But after sending the car to get rebuilt off, a lot better. Like, you can cruise this thing. under 2,000 RPMs, whereas before you had to keep it above 3,500 for it to feel good. But now under 2,000, you just cruise. I gotta work on the idle. Gotta keep the idle just a hair above 1,000. Spin, fill it up with 93, but I got to get the air filter on it. Still waiting on the hood from HO Fiber Trends. He said sometime around February, so I won't be able to cruise this thing with a filter on it unless I just throw a filter on it and let the hood pinch it down, but I don't think I want to do that. So I'm gonna do real low speed driving, see how that goes. Look and see what's making that noise. I think it's the spring underneath the dash. Well, I was gonna go out and get you some 60 to 130 stuff, but this is happening for some reason. And I've checked the float levels, I've checked everything, and this was the reason I sent the carburetor to get rebuilt. So I'm gonna key on. Fuel pressure's at 7 or 6 psi. Tell me why on a freshly rebuilt carburetor, why that's happening. I'd love to know. I'd love to know why on a $300 rebuilt carburetor this is happening. like guys, this is so yeah. Suffice to say that I'll probably be buying a whole new carburetor and ditching this AED unit that cost me over $300 to get rebuilt. Sorry if it's bad press, but I paid for a reason, so that if I had a bad experience, I'm able to tell you guys about it. I'll adjust some things right now to see if that helps, but god damn it, the last thing you want to do is have to fuck with it after you spent some money rebuilding it. Little clutch dump action, see how it goes. Transmission fluid, because I'm sure the synchros weren't the happiest during those, so I'm going to make sure that everything's good. But the carburetor sort of is doing its job. I mean, I wish the bowls didn't stay open and sprayed fuel all over the engine bay. got a lot of work to do. That was the first real true shakedown of the car that I've done. A couple of things have to happen. I got to get a balancer so I can verify where the timing is. Right now, the timing marks are not clear enough to know exactly where timing is. I was guesstimating based on the spark plug and the spark plug strap and previous marks and power that it made on the dyno. That's not the right way to do it. Let's do it the right way. Needs a balancer. Number two, it needs a clutch. It's doing that lockout thing that coyotes are known to do at high RPMs. I experienced this in my other notch back in the day with a Tremec 3550, and a center force clutch fixed it. This is a spec clutch. I can't imagine there's issues with a spec clutch, but I'll do some digging and see if it's a pedal issue, fork issue, but it is not allowing me to disengage the clutch fast enough to get the shifts in where I want as fast as I want. Number two, it needs a shifter. So it needs a shifter, needs a balancer, and it potentially needs a clutch. If I need a clutch, might as well take the trans out, send it to Ben Calmer and say, freshen it up, or since it's operating well, sell it and get a TKX or something similar. But the clutch is the first thing. Right now, the clutch is gonna be my main priority to figure out why can't I get this thing in gear faster than I am allowed to right now. Could be just, like I said, engagement issue with the pedal, because you hear that squeaking sound that happens when I drive it. So I got to go through all that, but again, that's why we shake things down. I have a little oil leak I got to take care of, so plenty of things to keep me busy, to keep my tinkering mind busy. AED carburetors rebuilt the car, but we saw what happened with the bowl. Maybe it wasn't adjusted properly. Once I adjusted the fuel bowl a little lower, problem was fixed. But I'm one of those psychos that think it should be fine from the get. But you know, err on the side of caution, set it low, whatever. But whatever, that's part of shaking a car down. All right, thanks for hanging out with me and being patient on this video. I was trying to find a proper ending, and that's as good as I'm gonna get, unless I break something, break down, or potentially break the car, and that's not what I wanna do. All right, guys, thanks for listening. Be on the lookout for more videos this week. Have a good one. See you later. Bye.